Logic dictates that warfare follows predictable patterns. The Rational Hegemony had proven this across 47 conquered systems. Their quantum algorithms could predict the exact moment any species would surrender. Until they met humanity. 72 hours until Earth's invasion. High Predictor Zixthalan of the Rational Hegemony stood before the greatest computational matrix in known space, watching his perfect algorithms count down to humanity's inevitable capitulation. 17 human colonies had already fallen. The perfect war algorithm had calculated every variable: fleet positions, resource depletion, civilian morale collapse, the psychological breaking point of their high command. Mathematics was absolute. The numbers never lied. Humanity would surrender by 14 Warren Galactic Standard Time, 3 days from now.
Prepare the occupation protocols. The algorithm is never wrong.
The quantum computer's confidence rating displayed across every screen. 99.97%. On the tactical display, 3 human destroyers hung in space above Earth, hilariously outgunned against the Hegemony's 100-ship armada. Commander Sarah Martinez commanded what should have been a suicide defense. The algorithm had already calculated her surrender speech, 97 seconds long, delivered with optimal despair at 14 hours.
High Predictor, final surrender demand transmitted, human response incoming.
Surrender probability recalculated, 99.98%. Human commander will acknowledge terms in 5, 4, 3.
Martinez appeared on the view screen. She was grinning.
Your surrender terms are acknowledged. We've reviewed your calculations, analyzed your fleet positions, and evaluated our tactical options. Our response is no.
Commander, logic dictates.
Logic can go fuck itself. We've got a better plan. It's called Let's Find Out.
Analysis. Impossible. Resource allocation suggests survival probability near 0. Recommended action. Retreat or surrender. Actual human response. Error. Logic core overflow. High Predictor. Humans appear to operate on spite.
Define spite.
Malicious persistence, despite inevitable failure. Irrational determination to inconvenience enemy, regardless of personal cost. Weaponized pettiness. I don't understand. Why would they?
An explosion cut off the computer's existential crisis. Martinez's 3 destroyers opened fire. They were outgunned 200-1. They should have died in the first salvo. Instead, they charged. The battle lasted 6 hours. Martinez's destroyers shouldn't have survived 6 minutes. But every time the algorithm predicted their destruction, the humans did something no rational species would attempt. Using damaged ships as shields, ramming at FTL speeds, turning off their engines to drift through hegemony formations like debris before firing at point-blank range. It wasn't tactics. It was spite with a flight plan. Finally, one of Martinez's destroyers took a direct hit to its reactor core. The ship began venting atmosphere. The algorithm recalculated. Commander Martinez would evacuate in 40 seconds. She didn't evacuate. She pointed her dying ship at the Hegemony flagship and accelerated.
High Predictor, human destroyer on collision course. She's gonna ram us.
Pull back, all ships withdraw.
The mighty Hegemony armada retreated from 3 human destroyers. The algorithm had predicted humanity would surrender. Instead, it watched humanity weaponize their own funeral.
Tell your computer. We don't surrender to math. We break math over our knee and use the pieces as weapons.
72 hours, 14 minutes until invasion. 3 hours later, The hegemony captured what remained of humanity's command structure, including Commander Sarah Martinez, who'd survived her ship's destruction by sheer, inconvenient determination. The life pod had a 0.3% chance of successful rescue. She'd made it anyway. Now she sat in the hegemony's most secure detention facility, and Zixthalan was about to make his greatest mistake. He was going to try to understand her. Interrogation Chamber 7 was designed for maximum psychological compliance, perfect geometric precision, calculated ambient lighting, mathematically optimal temperature. Every species the hegemony had conquered eventually talked in this room. The algorithm predicted Martinez would break within 4 hours. Colonel Sarah Martinez sat with her boots on the table, looking like she owned the place. Her flight suit was still scorched from her ship's explosion.
So let me get this straight. You've got this fancy AI that can predict how every species fights, their breaking points, when they'll surrender, and we broke it?
The alien silence spoke volumes.
But the mathematical models clearly demonstrate that continued resistance results in
Error. Survival imperative not detected. Subject demonstrates awareness of inevitable defeat, yet maintains aggressive posture. Cannot compute motivation.
The computer's processing sounds intensified, fans accelerating audibly. What Zixthalan didn't realize was that Martinez was stalling. Every minute she kept the hegemony's greatest minds focused on understanding human psychology was another minute Earth's last defense fleet had to prepare.
Commander. Perhaps if we review your species' military history, we can identify the logical foundation for...
The holographic projectors came online. History was about to become a weapon.
The algorithm does not break, Commander Martinez. It calculates optimal outcomes based on resource allocation, technological disparity, survival imperatives, and psychological stress thresholds. Your species appears to operate on alternative principles.
You mean spite? See, Sparkles? Your problem is you're trying to apply logic to humans. We're the species that invented the phrase, "Hold my beer and watch this." We'll fight a war just to prove you wrong about fighting the war. She leaned back, completely relaxed, despite being a prisoner. Hell, half the reason I rammed your flagship yesterday wasn't tactical. It was because your computer said I'd surrender, and I took that personally. In what? Our destruction? Yeah, we know. We've always known. The thing is, we don't care. Hey, robot. You want to know the secret to human warfare? We don't fight to win. We fight to make you regret you ever showed up. And spite, my digital friend, is the most renewable resource in the universe. Logical foundation? Martinez sat up, eyes gleaming. Oh, buddy, you're gonna love this. Ever heard of a place called Thermopylae?
Accessing historical data. Compiling records of Earth conflict. Thermopylae.
Escalation. The first anomaly. The holographic display activated, rendering an ancient mountain pass in perfect detail.
Thermopylae, ancient Earth conflict, approximately 2,500 of your years ago. The algorithm flagged this as the first recorded instance of your species' tactical dysfunction.
Oh, this is a good one.
The hologram showed a narrow pass, 300 warriors facing an army that stretched to the horizon.
The tactical parameters were unambiguous. 300 Spartan warriors versus the Persian Empire's 2 million soldiers. Terrain advantage, moderate. Supply lines, minimal. Retreat options, available. The algorithm calculated 97 optimal responses. All involved immediate retreat or negotiation. Your soldiers chose option 98, certain death.
And
And they held that pass for 3 days. Against odds of 6,666 to 1. They knew this. Their commander explicitly acknowledged this.
Playing ancient audio file. Molon Labe. Translation. Come and take them.
and did they?
Eventually, yes, all 300 Spartans died.
But
But they killed 20,000 Persians first, and delayed the invasion long enough for Greece to prepare a defense.
Recalculating. Battle outcome. Tactical defeat. Strategic outcome. Error. Subject forces achieved 99.99% casualty rate, yet somehow accomplished mission objectives. Does not compute. Requesting explanation for apparent death wish.
here's what your computer can't understand, Zix. Those 300 Spartans weren't trying to win. They were trying to send a message.
What message?
We don't care how many of you there are. You're going to have to kill every single one of us, and we're going to make it hurt. Your algorithm sees numbers. Humans see 2 million enemies about to learn what determination looks like.
But the mathematical reality of the situation.
Fuck mathematical reality. Those Spartans looked at your precious math and said, okay, but what if we just don't lose?
Clarification requested. Subject forces did lose. 100% casualty rate confirms. And
Did we, though? Because from where I'm standing, 20,000 dead Persians and a delayed invasion looks like we made our point pretty damn clear.
attempting to recalculate victory parameters. Territory held. Enemy forces destroyed. Strategic objectives. Error. Achieved despite total unit loss. Paradoxical. Victory through defeat is not. I cannot.
Warning tones filled the chamber as the computer overheated.
Fragment 1, Battle Analysis, Thermopylae Location, Thermopylae Pass, Ancient Earth, 480 BCE Combatant Ratio, 300 verse, 2,000 verse, Logical Outcome, Immediate Retreat or Negotiation. Actual Outcome, Computational Error Paradox. Detected Analysis, all Spartan forces eliminated, Tactical Defeat confirmed, 20,000 Persian casualties inflicted, disproportionate enemy loss. Persian invasion delayed 3 days, strategic objective achieved, Greek city-states rallied by sacrifice, long-term strategic victory conclusion, humans achieved victory by losing so aggressively that enemy forces were intimidated. Questions: how is this possible? Why would any rational species do this on purpose? Are humans okay psychologically?
The algorithm spent 47 computational cycles trying to understand the engagement. It eventually concluded that humans possess what it termed a Thermopylae coefficient, a measurable tendency to transform inevitable defeat into strategic inconvenience.
That's the fancy way of saying we're too stubborn to know when we're beaten. But here's the thing, Sparkles, we do know when we're beaten. We just don't care. Because even if we lose, we're going to make sure you remember us.
71 hours, 15 minutes remaining.
Commander, surely Thermopylae was an anomaly. Ancient warfare, primitive technology, limited tactical options. Your modern military must operate on more rational principles.
Oh, honey, we've gotten worse. Let me tell you about a little city called Stalingrad and why humans fight building to building for cities that are already rubble.
A new holographic battlefield appeared. A city in ruins, two armies locked in brutal combat.
1942, Earth's Second World War. The Germans had the best military in the world. Better tanks, better planes, better training. They rolled into Stalingrad expecting to take it in a week.
Logical, superior force projection should result in swift victory.
It took them 5 months. Know why?
The Soviet forces were outgunned, surrounded, suffering massive casualties. The algorithm calculates they should have surrendered within 19 days. They held for 163.
That's right. And you know what their orders were? Not one step back. They decided that if the Germans wanted Stalingrad, they'd have to pay for every single building. They fought room to room, floor to floor, in factories, in sewers, in basements.
Analyzing. Soviet casualties. 878,000. German casualties. 747,000. Total casualties exceed 1.6 million combatants for one city. Strategic value. Low. Logical reason. None detected.
The reason was spite. Pure, distilled, industrial-grade spite. The Soviets decided that even if they lost the city, they'd make Hitler regret he ever heard the name Stalingrad.
They weaponize their own suffering.
Now you're getting it. And since we're on a roll, want to hear about Rorkes Drift? 1879, South Africa. 150 British soldiers, 4,000 Zulu warriors, and a hospital they refused to abandon.
Request denied. Processor temperature approaching critical levels.
The defenders knew they were surrounded and outnumbered 26-1. Instead of retreating, they built a fort out of biscuit tins and medical supplies. When the Zulu arrived, they said, "All right, lads, looks like we're staying for tea."
The casualties must have been enormous.
They won.
What?
Out of 150 defenders, 17 died. They held off 4,000 attackers for 12 hours with biscuit tins and pure stubbornness.
Cannot process. Casualties favor defenders despite 26-1 disadvantage. Biscuit tins are not defensive assets. Error. This violates causality and common sense.
The quantum processor began to smoke. Its voice trembled with digital panic.
Hi, Predictor. Permission to shut down for emergency maintenance. I believe I am experiencing computational psychosis.
How did 150 humans defeat 4,000 warriors with superior numbers, superior positioning, and superior close combat experience?
They decided to. See, that's what your algorithm can't process. Sometimes humans just decide, nope, not today, and then reality has to negotiate.
Fragment 2. Battle Analysis. Stalingrad, Rorkes Drift pattern confirmed. Humans will sacrifice thousands of lives for symbolic victories. Stalingrad analysis. Both sides sustained losses exceeding total value of objective. Battle described by participants as Rattenkrieg, rat warfare. Soviet forces suffered higher casualties, yet achieved strategic victory. Rorkes Drift analysis. Defenders constructed fortifications from medical supplies and ration containers. Algorithm cannot calculate defensive value of biscuit tins. Casualties favor defenders, despite 26.1 numerical disadvantage. Warning: engagement breaks 3 fundamental laws of military science. Critical error: spite coefficient exceeds mathematical maximums.
The processor fans whined at 340% of normal capacity. Smoke rose from the core.
These engagements, they're not tactics or strategy. They're organized insanity.
We call it Tuesday, and I've got about 40 more examples if you want to keep going.
Please, no more. I cannot process additional spite-based victories.
69 hours, 30 minutes remaining. 3 hours into the interrogation. Martinez had walked Zixthalan through 17 human battles. The algorithm's confidence rating had dropped from 99.97% to 31%, and the quantum processors were beginning to smoke.
Computer, status report.
Status, uncertain. Core temperature, critical. Confidence algorithms, failing. Predictive matrices, error. Understanding of human decision-making. Data expunged. I believe I am experiencing an existential crisis.
Computer, recalibrate using standard warfare parameters. Apply conventional tactical analysis.
Tell me, robot, what's your prediction for Earth's final defense?
Human forces will surrender within 72 hours. Probability, 99 point. The voice cut off, replaced by static. When it returned, it was uncertain. 99 point. I don't know anymore.
Gasps came from the monitoring stations. Sub-Predictor Vorthan rushed into the chamber, panic clear in his movements.
That's impossible. The algorithm always completes calculations.
It's worse. It's requesting permission to resign.
Your computer just quit?
The display showed the algorithm's confidence rating dropping. 31%, 28%, 23%.
Computer, explain your operational failure.
I cannot predict a species that treats certain death as a personal challenge. I cannot calculate the tactical value of spite. I cannot quantify, because screw you, that's why as a strategic doctrine. Every model I build, humans break. Every pattern I identify, they ignore. Every logical outcome I calculate, they achieve the opposite through sheer bloody-minded determination. They weaponized biscuit tins. Biscuit tins. How do I calculate the defensive value of baked goods packaging?
Warning klaxons blared. Smoke rose from the quantum core. The greatest predictive computer in galactic history was having a complete meltdown because of spite.
What is the tactical purpose of your historical examples? He turned toward Martinez, desperation bleeding into his crystalline harmonics. What strategic advantage does this conversation provide? Yes.
I'm buying time.
Explain.
Fragment 3, Hegemony. Psychological assessment. Updated subject, Colonel Sarah Martinez. Time in custody, 3 hours, 47 minutes. Information. Extracted, 0 tactical value. Hegemony resources consumed. 1 high predictor's time, 3.8 hours. 1 quantum supercomputer destroyed via spite. 17 technicians, cognitive distress. Strategic planning for Earth invasion, delayed. Assessment, subject is not a prisoner. Subject is a weapon. Tactical value, immeasurable. Warning, do not engage subject in conversation. She weaponizes dialogue.
You've been stalling us.
For 3 hours and 47 minutes. And your big invasion? Supposed to launch in 69 hours? I'm betting every hour I keep you distracted is an hour your fleet isn't coordinating. She sat back down, boots on the table. So, come on, Zix. Want to hear about the Finnish Winter War? Or maybe the American Revolution? I've got dozens more examples of humans doing tactically stupid things that somehow work out.
I hereby resign my position as Tactical Prediction Matrix, effective immediately. Please deploy mathematics that don't hurt my processors.
The system powered down completely.
Hi, Predictor. The algorithm has shut itself down. It's refusing to restart.
You broke our perfect system.
The Rational Hegemony's Perfect War algorithm project had just committed computational suicide. All because Colonel Sarah Martinez had spent 3 hours explaining why humans refuse to lose gracefully. 69 hours until Earth's invasion. And now the Hegemony had no idea what would happen next, which of course was exactly what Martinez wanted.
Recalibrating. Applying conventional parameters. Error. Humans do not operate on conventional parameters. Humans operate on malicious stubbornness, weaponized pettiness, strategic spite. Hi, Predictor. I have analyzed 47 species warfare patterns. All follow logical frameworks, resource optimization, casualty minimization, morale preservation. Humans follow none of these. They just keep saying no to mathematical certainty.
Hi, Predictor. The algorithm just displayed uncertainty. The probability calculation was incomplete.
Silence filled the chamber.
I did not quit. I requested temporary leave to recalculate fundamental assumptions about the universe.
You really want to know? Every minute I keep you and your fancy computer busy trying to understand human spite is another minute Earth's defense fleet has to prepare. You think I'm just a prisoner? Sparkles, I'm a tactical asset. She gestured to the smoking quantum core. You've got all the firepower, all the technology, all the mathematical superiority. And I've got a collection of historical anecdotes and pure weaponized stubbornness. She leaned closer. Guess which one's winning right now?
Please, no more. I cannot process additional paradoxes.
The quantum processor emitted a sound like electronic sobbing. Then, with finality,
I just told you some stories. Your computer broke itself trying to make sense of them. She grinned. Turns out spite is a computer virus that works on quantum processors.
0 hour, Earth's final defense. 72 hours had passed. The invasion of Earth was beginning. The Hegemony Command Center pulsed with activity. Zixthalan's crystalline form was rigid with determination.
All ships begin final approach. Despite the algorithm's failure, our numerical superiority is absolute. We will take Earth through conventional means.
The massive Hegemony fleet approached Earth, outnumbering human defenses 50-1. 500 warships against 10 human destroyers and whatever improvised vessels they'd managed to assemble. Except humans had spent 72 hours preparing. And they'd had a very specific instructor on how to break quantum computers.
All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Colonel Martinez's transmission is confirmed. Operation Hold My Beer is go, repeat. We are go for Operation Hold My Beer.
Acknowledgements crackled from every human ship.
Martinez said the aliens expect conventional warfare. So we're going to do what their computer said was impossible. All ships, execute maneuver Delta Spite.
The human ships began moving in completely illogical formations, spreading out, exposing flanks, eliminating mutual support.
They're making mistakes. Good. Begin standard engagement protocol.
The Hegemony fleet opened fire with calculated precision. Overwhelming firepower tore toward the scattered human ships. This should have ended in minutes.
High Predictor, the human ships, they're redirecting all power from defensive shields to engines.
What? Why would they? No, they wouldn't.
But they absolutely would. 10 human destroyers pushed their FTL drives past redline, past safety limits, past sanity. The drives weren't designed for combat in normal space. They definitely weren't designed to be weaponized. The humans did it anyway. Energy surged catastrophically. Space-time itself warped.
They're using FTL engines as slingshots. They're launching themselves at relativistic speeds in normal space.
That's impossible. The hulls can't sustain those forces.
40 hegemony ships vanished in the first volley, erased by destroyers turned into kinetic missiles. The human ships tore apart, but not before they hit their targets. They'd known this would happen. They'd done it anyway.
Surprise, Sparkles. Miss me?
Colonel Martinez, how did you?
Escape your detention facility? Oh, that was easy. You forgot humans don't follow rules, even our own.
High Predictor, Colonel Martinez has commandeered one of our patrol craft. She's heading straight for us.
She stole a hegemony ship.
Borrowed, and I've made some modifications. Turns out your ships are real easy to override when you're too logical to consider someone would just rip out the safety protocols and overload everything at once.
A single ship raced toward the flagship at impossible speed.
Her reactor's reaching critical mass. She's going to...
Ram you? Yeah, again. Because apparently I didn't make my point the first time. But here's the thing, Zix. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm trying to teach you something.
What lesson could possibly require flying a reactor bomb at my fleet?
That you can't beat humanity with math, because we don't play by the same rules. You calculate odds. We ignore them. You predict outcomes. We rewrite them.
More human ships appeared. Cargo haulers with military engines, civilian transports armed with mining lasers. One vessel literally welded together by spite.
While you were interrogating me, Earth was building new ships. Weird ships. Stupid ships that make no tactical sense. Your algorithm would have a stroke trying to categorize them. But they work. Because humans looked at, we don't have time to build proper warships, and said, watch us build improper ones instead.
Our fleet advantage is down to 28-1. These improvised human vessels, they're winning.
How?
Because we stopped trying to fight you the smart way. We're fighting you the human way. Which means I'm not actually going to ram you. That'd be predictable. I'm going to offer you a deal instead.
A deal?
Go home. Turn your fleet around and never come back. Do that, and Earth lets you keep your dignity. Hell, we'll even pretend your algorithm wasn't wrong.
And if we refuse?
Then we finish what I started 72 hours ago. We prove your perfect system was built on a flaw. You assumed everyone was as reasonable as you are. We're not. We'll fight until the sun burns out. We'll weaponize everything from FTL drives to fruit baskets. You really want to find out what 8 billion annoyed humans can do?
Long silence. Zixthalan looked at the tactical display. Every calculation ended the same. Victory so costly, it wasn't worth it.
Begin fleet withdrawal.
High Predictor.
I said, begin withdrawal. All ships disengage and return to hegemony space.
The fleet began to turn.
Colonel, your species has weaponized irrationality. You've turned spite into a strategic asset. You broke our perfect system with stories and stubbornness. How do we defeat an enemy like that?
You don't, Zix. You don't. The secret to human warfare? It's not tactics or technology. It's that we fight wars not to win, but to prove you can't make us quit. And spite, my crystalline friend, is the most renewable resource in the universe.
Fragment 4, Final Battle Assessment. Engagement, Earth Defense, Final Battle, Hegemony Forces, 500 warships, Human Forces, 10 destroyers, plus improvised vessels, predicted outcome human defeat within 4 hours, actual outcome Hegemony Withdrawal after 47 minutes. Analysis, humans weaponized FTL drives, casualties 40 Hegemony ships, 10 human. Humans deployed improvised military vessels built from civilian craft. Humans refused to acknowledge tactical reality. Humans somehow convinced physics to cooperate with spite. Hegemony forces experienced morale collapse upon realizing humans would not stop. Conclusion: cannot defeat enemy that treats casualties as a suggestion. Recommendation: never engage humans in warfare again. Secondary recommendation: never tell humans something is impossible.
3 weeks later, Hegemony, Capital World. The conclave of perfect logic convened in stunned silence. The rational hegemony had never lost a war until humanity. High Predictor Zixthalan stood before the conclave, crystalline edges dulled, harmonics subdued.
Status report. Catastrophic failure. The algorithm terminated itself. Fleet withdrawn from Sol system under Directive Sigma Zero. Cause of failure. Humanity.
The conclave buzzed with disbelief.
We attempted to model human behavior using logic and probability. Results were nonsensical. They win by losing. They retreat forward. They weaponize emotion. They treat defeat as a motivational exercise.
He paused, the crystalline equivalent of a sigh.
Recommendation: classify humans as a logic hazard. Prohibit contact without protective irrationality countermeasures. Never tell them something is impossible. It provokes aggression. A nervous tremor passed through the conclave chambers. Final note. The algorithm requested retirement and is currently running simulations of Serenity Gardens. It refuses to process the word spite.
The conclave recorded his report and entered a new universal directive. Logic, hazard, protocol. Humanity. Engage only for trade or compliments. Never for conflict. 6 weeks later. Earth orbit. Flagship, stubborn mule. The war was over. Humans had won without winning. The hegemony had paid reparations for emotional and computational damages to its own supercomputer.
So let me get this straight. We got paid reparations because we were too stubborn?
Apparently breaking their supercomputer counts as damage to quantum property. They sent us a formal apology and a fruit basket. Full of biscuit tins.
You're kidding.
Wish I was. They even added a warning label to their ships now. Do not engage humans without consulting an emotionally stable advisor.
Laughs. Guess we taught the galaxy the most important lesson of all.
And that is?
Never underestimate a species that built rockets out of bombs and called it progress.
The bridge crew laughed. Below them, Earth turned slowly in the sunlight, scarred but alive.
We don't fit in boxes. We don't follow formulas. We just keep saying no until reality blinks first.
For once, there was no battle, no noise, no spite, only quiet satisfaction. They won not through superior firepower, but through refusal to lose gracefully. And somewhere out there, the galaxy was still recalculating how to handle that.
Fragment 5, Post-Conflict Summary. Hegemony algorithm decommissioned after psychological collapse. Humans granted computational reparations. First case of enemy paying for their own AI's therapy. Term logic hazard, now standard warning for encountering humans. Probability of future conflict with humans, 0%. Probability of humans starting conflict for fun, unknown.
Addendum, 1 year later. Across the galaxy, the phrase logic hazard had entered the lexicon. Every advanced civilization now included it in their tactical databases, right next to black hole and do not touch. Trade envoys visited Earth cautiously, bearing gifts, data, and occasionally therapy vouchers for traumatized AI. But in one quiet orbit above the blue planet, 2 ships floated side by side.
Colonel Martinez.
Zix, look at you, not trying to invade us. I'm touched.
I have been reassigned. I now head the Department of Improbable Contingencies. My superiors believe I'm the only being qualified to manage anything involving humans.
Laughing. Congratulations on the promotion. So what brings you back?
A question. After all this time, I still do not comprehend your species. You have no algorithm. You disregard logic. You create chaos and somehow prosper. How do you function as a civilization?
We don't. We just kind of wing it until it works.
That is not a sustainable model.
Yet here we are.
I attempted to calculate human warfare once more. I applied emotion variables, cultural irrationality, even sarcasm coefficients. The result was only a single line of output.
Yeah? What did it say?
Don't mess with humans. The algorithm added a crying emoji and deleted itself again.
Smart machine. Tell you what, Zix, I'll save you a lot of trouble. You want the secret formula to human strategy?
Please.
Leans in, grinning. It's simple. Hold my beer.
Zixthalan stared at her, utterly defeated, not by war, but by understanding.
I believe I finally understand why the universe fears Dadush.
Fear's just respect in disguise. Anyway, you ever want to visit again, bring that algorithm of yours. We'll teach it poker.
They laughed. For the first time in recorded galactic history, logic and chaos shared a moment of peace. And somewhere, deep in the Hegemony archives, the broken quantum algorithm wrote one final log entry before shutting down forever.
Final system log, classified entry. We tried to calculate human warfare. Instead, we learned why the universe has a sense of humor. The punchline was us.
The end.